Hi, this is Jason Anderson, founder of PreVeteran, and welcome back to our PreVeteran YouTube channel. And this week, in this video, you're going to learn a very important lesson. You're going to learn what companies, and that's private sector companies, want and do not want in candidates, and that includes you as a transitioning military member. Before we get started, go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel so you are notified when new videos come up. Let's get started. To get started, let's talk about the simple differences between the public and private sectors. The public sector, for example, the military, is a taxpayer-funded entity, which means so long as there is a need for a national defense, this will be funded into perpetuity. In addition, it's not subject to market forces and does not have to make money. On the opposite end of the spectrum is the private sector. And in the private sector, they are very susceptible to market forces and they do have to make money. Not surprisingly, those two very different things trickles down into who they do want to hire and who they do not want to hire. Let's get started with who they do want to hire. Because of those private sector market forces, private companies are looking for three very specific things that they want in candidates. First, the candidate has to be a specific person with a specific skill set to fill a specific job. Going back to those market forces, they know exactly what they need in order to make money and make the business profitable. So therefore, that candidate should have a specific set of skills for that specific job. Number two, they should be a good cultural fit for the company. Look, each company is different and it's going to approach the marketplace and its customers differently and have that different culture. So that's the second factor. The third one is they actually want them to stick around for longer than 2 years. And the simple reason is cost. It takes about $4,000 to get someone in the door. After that, and after they've been trained and been there for a while, it requires, if they have to be replaced, anywhere from 50 to 200% of their salary to replace them. So you see it becomes very cost prohibitive to have people turn over all the time. Now that we know that companies are looking for, let's talk about what they are not looking for and how this might relate to you very specifically as you get ready for your military transition. Not surprisingly, I'm going to use the same list, but let's talk about it in a little bit different manner that relates directly to how you're thinking about your transition. So what they are not looking for. So number one, they're not looking for a generalist. And if you look or listen back to what I was saying before about private sector companies and market dynamics, and needing a specific individual with specific skill sets, they do not need, in this case, a generalist. And this might run against your military mindset heuristic, what you've developed while you're in the military ecosystem. Because back in the military, they kind of put you where they needed you, which means you kind of became a generalist over your career. And you might try to carry that mindset into the private sector, and that would be a mistake because they are not looking for a generalist. Number two, they're looking for someone, or they're not looking for someone who is not a good culture fit. And as you can see, as I mentioned before, companies have different cultures in the way they approach business and they approach customers. So if the person is not a good fit for that at a cultural level, they will not be looking for that person. And that will come through in both the resume and the interviews. And number three, they don't want someone who isn't going to stick around. So this is really important to you for your transition and why you need to get it right the first time, because if there's no intent for you to stick within the company, that's going to actually hurt you because you're going to be back in the hopper and doing these activities and having the stress of having to find work again in less than a year. And then on top of that, it's going to kind of give your entire veteran force and your brothers and sisters out there a bad look because it makes the brand look bad because we're turning over 4 times higher than our general public counterparts. Now that you know what companies want and do not want for a candidate, now you can start planning in a more effective way for your military transition to become an employee post-military. One of the biggest things we talk about a lot is knowing and understanding the private sector needs and wants. And pre-veteran, we understand that, and we also understand what private sector wants from an overall perspective as well. And what we've done is we've put this in our program, our employment prep program, which is available now on the website if you go there. It has in this course everything you need to know to understand the private sector's needs and wants, and then be able to articulate your skills into those specific profit-making enterprise areas so that the company and you can match up together, therefore making you more successful in your transition. So if you'd like, Go to the website now, go to our courses page and sign up for the next course. They're going to be held on a routine basis. Okay, that's the end of our video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to know more about Pre-Vet in general, you can visit our website. You can also visit our LinkedIn company page. We look forward to seeing you next week with our next video.